Retired Lieutenant General Michael Flynn has promised full cooperation in the special counsel's Russia investigation and, according to a confidant, is prepared to testify that Donald Trump directed him to make contact with the Russians, initially as a way to work together to fight ISIS in Syria. The stunning turn comes as Flynn, who is cooperating with investigators in special counsel Robert Mueller's probe, pleaded guilty to one count of lying to the FBI about his back-channel negotiations with the Russian ambassador, talks that occurred before Trump took office. The special counsel made the plea agreement public Friday morning. A close confidant told ABC News that Flynn felt abandoned by Trump in recent weeks, and told friends about the decision to make the plea deal within the last 24 hours as he grew increasingly concerned about crippling legal costs he would face if he continued to contest the charges. "It has been extraordinarily painful to endure these many months of false accusations of treason and other outrageous acts," Flynn said in a statement. "Such false accusations are contrary to everything I have ever done and stood for. But I recognize that the actions I acknowledged in court today were wrong, and, through my faith in God, I am working to set things right." Richard Frankel, a former senior aide to Flynn and an ABC News contributor, said Flynn made his decision to cooperate under immense pressure, but he believes it is the right move for the country. "I don't know how much General Flynn knows about any criminal activity that took place during the campaign or in the White House," said Frankel, who also served in a senior role at the FBI. However, General Flynn was a top advisor to President Trump in the campaign and a top advisor to him when he entered into the WH. So if there are bodies buried, so to speak, General Flynn would know about them, in my opinion. Flynn was charged with lying to the FBI about the nature of his conversations with then Russian ambassador to the United States Sergei Kislyak during the presidential transition. Those conversations led Russian officials to temper their response to increased U.S. sanctions, according to the charging documents. The charge means Flynn could face up to 5 years in prison. Flynn became the latest and most senior Trump associate to face charges in Mueller's probe and arrived at the U.S. District Courthouse accompanied by his wife and attorney Robert Kellner after having been processed at the FBI Washington field office, where he was fingerprinted and photographed, according to FBI officials. In court, the retired lieutenant general was asked by federal judge Rudolph Contreras if he had ever been a part of similar proceedings, to which Flynn replied that he had not. Contreras then asked Kellner whether he was correct in assuming that Flynn was pleading guilty. "Yes, Your Honor," said Kellner. After the hearing, Flynn was free to go, but has to check in with authorities each week. Sentencing has been put off for now, and the judge noted that Flynn is agreeing to cooperate with authorities in other matters. Flynn had initially resisted cooperating with the investigation, according to people close to the retired general, but he has been facing mounting legal debts and plans to sell his house to help defray costs.